Well, good morning guys, hope you're all doing well. So I spent the last 2, maybe 3 days stuck inside an office staring at a computer screen trying to sort out various issues to do with websites and all the rest of it, and updating it and getting it all sorted. So I just needed to get out big style. I can only take so much of that. So what I thought we'd do today is, there's not going to be any photography, but there's going to be a bit of a discussion about photography and the whole reason why I do this. But what we're going to do is get further up this trail here, and I'll start discussing what I want to talk to you about. So I don't think we've got long because this rain's coming in already. But what I do want to discuss with you is why this helps this. And what I mean by that is mental health, basically. Is why photography is so good for mental health. Back when I used to drive for a living, I had to take on a job of driving, and I used to deliver passports and secure mail. My mental health just took a nosedive. And towards the end of it, I was a mess, to be honest with you. And one of the reasons for going full time is obviously I've been doing this for quite a long time beforehand as a hobby, and decided I wanted to be back outside, back out in nature, back somewhere that kind of meant more to me than just sitting in a van all day driving. And just while I'm talking, I'll just spin you around. Look at that. Got a rainbow going on here. So yeah, just I wanted to be back outside, back out in nature again. And the reason for it is I feel more comfortable out here. I relax more when I'm outside. I'm a lot calmer. I just feel a lot better when I'm out here. So for me, landscape photography was the obvious choice, because I wanted to be back out with the camera, forcing myself to get out and be back outside. And that's the one thing with photography, especially a landscape photography. I find that it forces me out, and especially doing YouTube as well. A lot of people think mental health and YouTube doesn't really go together. Well, it doesn't. There's pluses and negatives to both. But the one thing YouTube does for me that other things don't is it forces me to get out. It forces me to get out on a weekly basis, go and create content, get outside, explore nature, and yeah, this is the main thing. It's getting out and exploring. So obviously I've just got back from Tuscany, and this is one of the things that kind of put it in my mind. Yeah, I'm lucky to be able to go to these places, run workshops and such like, but going to these places really makes you think that you are lucky to do what you do. And as far as mental health's concerned, that's another benefit. And you might not think so. You might think, well, I'm a landscape photographer because I want to be alone. I want to have my own solitude, my own peace and quiet. And yeah, I like that too. I do want that too sometimes. But one of the things I have noticed in landscape photography is that it can be a really social thing. And what I mean by that is, like, when I first started doing workshops, I started to discover that being out with other people was good for the mind as well. Because a lot of the time, I personally, with what I do for a living, you might think landscape photographer, oh, you're out taking photographs all the time. Well, that's not the case. I'm sitting in front of that computer screen, which is why I came to Escape today, 99% of the time, updating websites, doing video editing, doing image editing. No matter what it is, I'm sitting there in front of a screen in an office a lot of the time. So being able to go out with a group of people and kind of interact with people is vitally important, because I don't get to do that on a day-to-day basis. The only people I tend to see is my family, my close family, and I don't get me wrong, that's fantastic to be able to see my family that much, but I don't interact with anybody else. So actually getting out to these places, not only do I get to explore new locations, but I actually get to interact with people, and I find that fantastically beneficial, especially to me, and I'm sure it will do to you as well. Now, if you haven't seen any of those Tuscany videos, I'll leave a link in the clickable link above. But yeah, this is what I mean. It's a great place to start. Is going out, and even a local photography club, something like that, where you can interact with people, get out there and explore together as a group. Not only will you learn together, you'll learn various tips from each person. Other than if you were going on a workshop, for example, you're going to learn stuff from the workshop leaders, but you'll also learn things from your the people that you're actually in the workshops or groups with. So be it a local photo group, or be it a workshop, I think there's lots of benefits to doing that. So when I think back to when I used to have to drive and I was confined to one space, I felt a bit like a caged animal, and I think that's what was kind of driving me insane, to be honest, slowly, is that I was confined, and I'm one of those person that doesn't like to be confined, because a lot of people, you know, when I had to shut my music shop, I had a music shop in Carlisle, selling musical instruments and stuff like that. And when the financial crash happened in 2008, that absolutely finished that off. And that's kind of when I stopped really socialising with people then, because at least I used to get interaction with the public. From that point on, I had to find a job quickly, and that was the driving job. And for 10 years I did that job, stuck inside a van by myself. And yeah, I used to like my own company, and I used to take the camera, funnily enough. I used to take a camera in the van with me, and if I saw anything happening, or whether I saw a good light or anything like that, at least I had the ability to jump out and go and capture some images. And the other advantage I had at that time is I would listen to a lot of podcasts to do with photography, and I took a lot of information in, and I used the opportunity to learn. But that really kind of made up my mind that I wanted to change my direction and get back outside again, and get back to this beautiful nature. And it's been a great choice, it really has. There's lots of ups and downs, don't get me wrong, it's not easy, it's not an easy path to follow at all. And again, people have said, well, is that good for your mental health? Because it swings and roundabouts. You're always going to have yin and yangs to these sort of things. There's going to be positives and negatives. It's fantastic to be able to do what I do for a living. I wouldn't change this for a world. It does get difficult because you're relying on yourself to make you money and to provide for your family and everything, and that does give you pressures as well. But on the other hand, you're your own boss. Any choices that you make, it's on your head, basically. So you've taken the decision to make a choice or not, basically. You're not having it forced down your throat. And I find that really beneficial as well, is to make my own choices in life and follow the path that I really want to follow. And that, for me, is the reason why I've started doing a lot more in the workshop space, stuff like that, is because I wanted to get myself involved with people again, because it's one of those things which I said before, you do kind of withdraw because you're kind of focusing in on the business side of things, you're focusing in on what you're trying to achieve, and you do kind of withdraw from everybody. And I think that's why it's vitally important to get back out and into these groups and actually interact with people again. Now, not only that, but when you're away on these workshops, as I say, I've just come from Tuscany, I did Vancouver with Adam last year, and actually touching on points like that, I want to hit another point, is that the community itself is a fantastic one, and it's a really supportive one. And that's what I like about the photography community as a whole, is that in the main, it's a really fantastically inspiring and supportive group of people. I've been lucky in doing what I do to meet some fantastic people who have helped me, not only with my photography, but the business side of things, everything. everything like that, likes of Dean Allen, Adam Gibbs, Matt Bishop. All of these people have kind of helped me grow as a photographer, and helped me to get where I am now, support me in a way that I didn't know. When you first go into these things, you don't know how to run a workshop, you don't know how to teach people, you don't know how to interact, I guess. It's about learning how to interact again. So all of these people have really helped me grow, and still do help me grow and learn every day. And I think that's vitally important as well, is to get people that you trust and you listen to and respect, and that can kind of help you through these things. And that takes the pressure off mentally as well. It really takes the pressure off having to worry about how to do everything, because you've got somebody to bounce ideas off and basically learn how the whole game works. Now, what working with these people that you trust and who support you really does is give you confidence. And that's a massive thing mentally, really, is what I find really difficult, or what I have found is really difficult, is having confidence in your own work and having confidence in your own abilities, because that can massively impact you. If you can't show confidence in your work, not only do other people pick up on that, but for yourself, it's a hard thing to wrestle with. It's something that gets inside your head, and you get a lot of people getting this thing called imposter syndrome, and that's kind of a similar thing. You lack confidence in what your abilities are and what you can actually do. And yeah, I found that really difficult to handle, is to work through that, because it's one of those things that can get inside your head, and you can just overthink it and overthink it and overthink it, and it doesn't do you any good in the long run. So you really have to have this group of people around you that can kind of help pull you through that sort of thing. And yeah, the comments that these people make that you trust aren't always going to be positive. They're not always going to be, how do I put it, what you want to hear. But that shouldn't be a bad thing either. Those are the kind of things that you need to kind of listen to. You need to be able to take that bit of criticism, take it on board, and change it up to how it's going to suit your position. And I think that was vitally important as well. It's really helpful to be able to take these things, because it's really easy not to see these things from the inside looking out. It's only other people from the outside looking in that are actually going to notice, because you're very focused on what you're doing at that point. I feel alive again where I didn't before. I still have ups and downs, and I think it's really important to discuss this. There's not a lot of people that openly discuss their mental health, and I've always had an issue with mental health. It kind of runs in my family. It's always been there in the background, and I've had ups and downs all the way through my life. But it's knowing that you're having a down that can pick you back up again, and that's vitally important. If you know you're on a rocky road downhill, being able to recognise that and pull yourself out of it is the first path to getting control of this thing. And this has been it for me. Photography has been that for me. If I'm feeling low, if I'm feeling down, if I get outside and I go interact with a group of people, or if I go and try and make an image, I start feeling better again. And I think as a whole medium, photography is so beneficial to anyone with mental health issues, and I strongly recommend that if you suffer with it, get out there, get back outside in nature, go and experience it with other people, and yeah, just enjoy the outdoors. Well, no photography this week, as I said, but I hope this has been kind of interesting for you. Hope it's been helpful in some way. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll be back with a regular video next week. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.